You're asking a lot.
You're getting a lot. Your life.
Well, maybe my life wouldn't be worth so much if I told you. You've got to give me time to think it over.
Sure, Annie. You can have all the time you want, within reason. Just let me point out there's only one way out of here. We'll be out there waiting. Any trouble with her, Steve?
Nary a bit. Came along like a little lady. Nice girl.
Yeah, I told you Steve could do anything. That's the reason I wanted to hire him. It's a good thing I knew you were in Las Palmas.
She said something about murder, Lacey. Maybe that's something you forgot to tell me.
Yeah, Steve, you see, it was this way.
You to stay home and wash windows while I was gone.
Golly, you get something in your head and you can't get it out, even with the hole the wind blows through.
Tag Oakley.
No, wait a minute, Annie. Remember you wanted to know where Pop Hackett started from?
Of course I do. If we knew where Pop started, we'd know what the murderers were after.
Well, Lofty found a letter at Pop's camp from Father Paul at the Mission Guadalupe in Las Palmas. That's where he started from. He stayed with Father Paul when he wasn't off prospecting.
The Mission Guadalupe. Tag, have you got a lariat on your saddle?
Sure, I always have.
All right, now listen to me.
And that's why I'm certain that Annie Oakley knows the old Hackett's secret.
Well, maybe it works that way. But I wonder what she meant when she said her life wouldn't be worth much if she talked.
Probably because there's others in on it. I've had a feeling all along that the old man struck on something pretty rich.
What if she bows her neck and won't talk?
We'll make her talk.
Why not start now? She called me a liar.
Let's give her a little time. Maybe we can do this the easy way.
What happened? Where'd the girl away?
Welcome to Watch the Doctors, Where Are They Now? A look back at the classic NBC soap opera, The Doctors, that aired for almost 2 decades. For the next half hour, thanks to Retro TV and WatchTheDoctors.com, you'll hear from some of your favorite Doctors characters as we catch up with them more than 37 years later. So sit back, relax, and enjoy, because the Doctors are in.
My name is Count Stovall. I played Hank Chambers on The Doctors.
I'm Kim Zimmer, and I played Nola Dancy Aldrich.
I'm Jonna Rowland, and I played, I think, the second Carol Lee.
Brian McKeown. I played Dr. Rolf Krilling.
I'm Eileen Carney, and I played Gerda Powers from 1969 to 1970, I believe.
Thor Fields, and I played Eric Aldrich.
Anna Stewart, Tony Farrow. That's what I was on The Doctors.
I am Patricia Haling, and the character that I played on The Doctors, her name was Bettina Chambers.
My name is Jennifer Holton, and my character on The Doctors was Greta Powers.
My name is Richard Niles, and I played Rico Bellini.
Marie Thomas, and my character was Laurie James Iverson when she got married.
I have just been asked to introduce myself. Dr. Althea Davis, and here I am.
Oh, my character was fabulous. There was no reason why I wouldn't like her. I mean, she was a troublemaker. You know, the bad characters are always the most fun to play. The good characters are like, ugh. And I had a ball playing her. It was so much fun. It was my first major daytime television role, so I engulfed it and threw everything in that I could, 99.999%.
She was very different from the stereotypical black woman during television at that time, where there were more characterizations of women who were henpecking their husbands or who were overly assertive. And it was very important to me that she was kind and gentle, compassionate, and to show another side that wasn't so stereotypically identified with couples and black women at the time. So I loved that about her. I thought she was a good person.
I had a lot more hair. He was very three-dimensional, you know. I mean, a tough kid on the outside, but, you know, when you broke through that facade, he was a very sensitive, intelligent, warm person, you know, who basically was protecting himself with this armor of, you know, screw you kind of thing. And that I found incredibly interesting. So I loved playing the character. I really had a great time.
It's an interesting part, and I got to be catatonic for 3 months and didn't have to learn any lines. It's great.
The main aspect of Dr. Rolf Krilling's character is that he's a love-smitten German. And he's in love with this woman. He never gets anywhere, really. She's very cold to him. And my one memory that stands out, I'm standing under, it's a dark night on the set, and there's a lamppost overhead, and I'm standing there, and I have this inner dialogue working, and I had to work up some tears, and it's like, why doesn't she love me? And everything. In German, it's difficult, you know. But I never get anywhere with her. But it was an interesting character, insofar as that I always had that one objective, so to speak, to win her love, and I never do.
She was a really neat girl. She was a young professional. She was having her first job. She was confident, but, you know, careful the way you might be. So I really liked her. I really, really liked her, and she actually had a lot more confidence than I did.
Well, I was really young. I was on the show from when I was 8 to 18, so I liked having 2 sets of parents. I had one TV set of parents and one real set of parents, and I liked the fact that my TV family was kind of more normal than my real family, which is funny for somebody to say that their soap opera family is actually more normal than their real family, but that was my situation, so yeah.
She was a good person, always trying to do the right thing and not managing it, really.
I think I like just about everything about her. Sometimes I had to deal with being in a scene where I was the explanation, and sometimes that was a little hard because it wasn't all emotional. It was just really, you know, saying what you had to say. But I enjoyed the character immensely because, in a way, I was a first on daytime television, and in doing this particular kind of a role as an African-American woman who was a singer but a nurse and back and forth and had a lover, had a boyfriend who got married and all of those things. So it was a wonderful storyline. You know, I wasn't just playing your regular maid or cook or those kinds of parts. So I was very pleased and very proud.
That I was a paraplegic therapist counselor at some point, and I could never stand tall enough or walk fast enough to keep up with the regulars. I was in a hospital bed for a great deal of time, and then, as they say, I was searching for the thrill of victory, and I found the agony of defeat. And the young man who was opposite me in the hospital room, he eventually got up and walked away.
Watch the Doctors, Where Are They Now? Will continue after this.
Listen up, America. Millions of Americans just like you owe the IRS more than $10,000 and are facing liens, bank levies, wage garnishments, penalty abatements, and other IRS enforcement actions. Newly authorized debt forgiveness programs allow you to settle your debts for less than ever before. Do you owe the IRS $10,000 or more in back taxes? If so, then call Tax Savings Helpline now.
Please call 800-588-0270.
There's always something on TV 25. Kansas City, Lawrence, and Topeka. TV 25. Locally owned and operated. Premium TV networks. Tell your friends about TV 25, where there's always something on.
Are you tired of paying for cable yet? Cut the cord and find more than 50 local channels you can get totally free over the air, including TV 25's 12 free premium channels. TV 25 gives you 24-hour news, weather, extreme sports, movies, game shows, shopping, 2 channels of TV classics, and even a channel dedicated to cars. And now you can watch online for free at TV25.tv. So plug in an antenna and rescan your TV to find out why we say at TV 25, there's always something on.
Time to plant your early spring crop is here. We have homegrown cabbage, cauliflower, broccoli, Brussels sprouts, and more all ready to grow at Jackson's Greenhouse, your hometown greenhouse and garden center. Come see us for the best service in town.
With more premium cable-like channels than any other station in the United States, we are locally owned. We are locally operated. We are free over the air. We are TV 25, where there's always something on.
Welcome back to Watch the Doctors, Where Are They Now? Let's continue our chat with some of your favorite characters.
Live to tape meant that the show was taped, you know. So if something really went wrong, they would redo it. Well, if there was an earthquake, they would redo it, you know. Otherwise, no. You know, whatever happened went, because it was a lot of money to redo. So the only time that I was on, when they actually redid it, I was doing a scene with Jerry Gordon, who played Nick Bellini, and we were in his office, I think, or some doctor's office, and we were playing this scene, you know, it was a very serious scene, and then suddenly this screen, this dressing screen, you know, about a 6-foot-high dressing screen, falls on the set behind us, you know. Neither of us saw it fall. We're just talking, and then we suddenly hear this like that, and we kept trying to go on. I would say something, and he'd say, yes, yes, and then we just cracked up, you know. So they redid that, but that was the only time. That was the only time.
I got just past the wire of live, although we did the show. It taped, but for fear of our lives, we did not stop. I can't really remember with great clarity. I just know that there was a scene in which I had a black coat. And apparently there was a woman, a guest, a young woman who was on the set with somebody or other, off in the dark. And whatever happened, she must have taken off her black coat as well. And the costume, but whatever it was, they handed me her black coat, and I came onto the set with her black coat. Well, when she discovered that it was not her coat that she was getting ready to put on, obviously she was leaving, she didn't think anything of coming onto the set to say, excuse me, you have my coat. And it was a really big flap because she had no idea what she was doing. Even if it had been the way it is now and you can cut any old time, it was still sort of outrageous.
And we had these guys on the side with these huge cue cards. So I would be holding up an X-ray, and I'd say, yes, I can see you have, and then I'd have to glance down to see what my next line was. It was live, and a lot of fun.
I learned more on The Doctors than anything else because it was live. You know, we had to shoot it, we shot it exactly the time that it took to watch it. You know, and so with a commercial, the camera was moving, set up next, and then you go. And then you couldn't make a mistake. We didn't want to stop tape because videotape was just becoming sophisticated enough to stop, but it wasn't anything like it is today. The quality of being able to stop and change, you know, and then I don't even think they accounted for lights and dark. So you basically were trying to keep things in a kind of even tone in terms of the way people looked. But years later, it became more varied, and you saw people of every hue and every type and every background on there.
I had to learn a lot of lines. It was difficult. They had big cue cards, as I'm sure you know, big written cue cards, and 3 cameras. And the guys in the beginning of the day would each be writing in different colors. Everybody's character had their own color, so you would know, oh, better look for red if I can't remember my line. And sometimes you'll even see now, like on Saturday Night Live or something, when a celebrity comes on, they'll be looking at their cue card instead of really engaging in the scene, and that's because they haven't had time to learn their lines or whatever.
I remember a guy named Bert, and he was like 300 years old, and he would write the entire script on these huge cue cards. I was thinking and hoping that I was looking at it when the camera wasn't looking at me, because with the 3 cameras on, you know, out of the corner of your eye, you'd see which camera was looking at you. So I recently saw that first episode, and watching it as an observer is completely different than how I remembered it being. And you can totally see me reading the cue cards. And I'm trying to fake it. I'm like, you know, it's kind of like this kind of thing, like out of the corner of my eye.
I always say doing soaps was the closest thing to doing live theater because it's so fast and it's so from the hip. You know, I mean, in theater you get 6 weeks of rehearsal. We get very little rehearsal, and it was exciting because you'd be doing a scene with someone, and they would count down the commercial slugs. If it was a 15-second commercial, they'd count, you know, 5, 15, 14. They'd count down to 1. And then they would cue you and you'd start the next scene. Or if it was a 30-second spot, it was the same situation. But you always knew when your scene was coming to an end because the lights in the next scene would go on that set. So you, from the corner of your eye, if you were playing the scene, you would see the lights in the next set go on and you knew you were coming to the end of your scene. And you always knew who had the last shot in the scene because if you were talking and then the next person answered you, your camera would move away. So you weren't even on camera because that camera had to go and leave that scene and go to the next set and get ready to start filming that next scene. It was very exciting. So much different now.
Everybody on The Doctors was very respectful of one another and of the work.
And I thought all of them were just really fantastic. They're stage people who came to television with the craft intact. So it was wonderful working with them and watching them work.
Everybody got along. There was no pettiness. Count Stovall, who played my husband, I guess I was the closest with him. We would sometimes roll lines together, and we are friends till this day. I just saw him recently in a show. He played Ebenezer Scrooge in a Christmas show in the New Jersey area, and he was excellent.
It was fun. It was fun. Everybody was nice. I was definitely a child. They were definitely grown-ups, and they definitely had grown-up stories. But I got to be a little precocious, I guess, from being around them. So they were nice.
Delightful people, all delightful. Really, it was just a wonderful experience. I mean, having done many years later, you know, everything from nighttime television to film, you realize what a close family and how you know, joyful and how remarkably close people are.
God, we'd have so much fun, so many laughs. Fridays we shot at Rockefeller Center, and Friday afternoons we'd have a party on the set at the end of the day. We'd lose our camera facilities at 3 o'clock in the afternoon because they had to go to the news. So our day was always done by 3 o'clock in the afternoon because we didn't have cameras after that. So then it was time to party, and we did.
More Watch the Doctors, Where Are They Now? After these messages.
I'm Ray Bradbury. This is
I sent your new prescription to the pharmacy. Any idea how much it will cost? You have a choice. Insurance or GoodRx? I have insurance. Insurance is not what it used to be. People struggle to get their prescriptions covered, and prices keep rising. I recommend GoodRx. You get free coupons to save on your prescriptions. Compare prices to find the best discounts.
GoodRx. Smart.
Stop paying too much for your prescriptions. Download the free app today.
At Credible.com, we've helped tens of thousands of people save money by refinancing their student loans. In 3 minutes, we'll get you actual rates from multiple lenders. We could save you hundreds of dollars a month.
Visit Credible.com to see how much you could save.
I got things I want to do, but student loans were holding me back. Credible.com helped me save $600 a month with a great rate. Now I can go do what I want to do.
Visit Credible.com to see how much you could save on your student loans.
I have a structured settlement, but I need cash now. Okay, Wentworth, 877 cash now. I have an annuity, but I need cash now. Okay, Wentworth, 877 cash now. 877 cash now. They've helped thousands, they'll help you too. One lump sum of cash they will pay to you. If you get long-term payments, but you need cash now. OJG Wentworth, 877 cash now. 877 cash now. 877 cash now. 877 cash now.
It's your money. Use it when you need it.
OJG Wentworth, 877 cash now.
Is your credit card debt driving you batty? One call to Consolidated Credit can lower your interest rate, consolidate your bills into one easy payment, and get you out of debt fast.
Call 800-596-8051. 800-596-8051.
Have you or a loved one been diagnosed with lung cancer in the past few years? Even if you were a smoker, your lung cancer could be caused by asbestos exposure. You and your family may be entitled to significant compensation. You know our law firm, the Driscoll Firm. We only represent victims. If you have been diagnosed with lung cancer or mesothelioma, we can determine if you qualify for compensation. Call us for free. You pay nothing unless we win.
Welcome back to Watch the Doctors, Where Are They Now?
I left the show. The show went off the air. I did another brief stint on something called the Hamptons, a nighttime soap they were trying to get going, but I only agreed to do it if they promised to kill me. And they were shooting it out live and out on the street in New York City. My final death scene was in front of Barney's store at night And they killed me off. They stabbed me and I fell in the gutter, and that was the end of my acting career. So, and I'm a happy camper. I then went on and did 11 children's books and a lot of magazines, and then paint portraits of board chairmen and do gallery work. And now I'm semi-retired from that, and I'm writing an illustrated novel, which is called Tangle of Strings. Look it up.
I started teaching at Marymount Manhattan College, and I started teaching acting and directing, and I directed shows. And I've been there for 30 years. 30 years. And I'm going to retire this June, 2020. I finally retire after teaching several generations of students. Some of them have done very well. Melissa Rauch, who was on The Big Bang Theory, she was doing very well.
I came back to acting in my about 10 years ago, and I did my own film that won Toronto International Shorts two years ago, called House Rules. You will be able to see it on Vimeo shortly. And I am just chugging along and enjoying my life.
I realized that acting was not my true passion. My true passion was for music, and my big passion is my Led Zeppelin tribute band called Led Blimpie. Oh, and I'm also enrolled in university working toward my bachelor's degree at 51 years old.
Right now, I am actually the chairwoman of the National Forestry Foundation, and my hope is that we can raise money for reforestation, for helping our wildlife, our clean water. And people say, why are you on the National Forestry Foundation Board, National Forest Foundation Board, under the auspices of the U.S. Forest Service and the Department of Agriculture? And my answer is pretty simple: because I like to breathe.
I've been a writer. I'm right now working on a TV thing, and I'm married, and I have 2 sons, and one is a teacher, and one is getting a master's in city planning.
And now I just enjoy my life. I have a grandbaby now, and I'm close to my family, and we travel a lot, and I babysit my grandchild, and I'm basically retired. I do a lot of theater still, but basically retired.
Since it was about 1977, 78, 79, and it's now 2020, it's been a marvelous career. I started out with Shakespeare and went on to do some of every type of role, character-wise, that you could imagine, from a Japanese bandit to seemed like yesterday it do, recognized about knee-high to a grasshopper when Pa used to take me to town with him to fetch old man Jacob's fiddles. So I've had every accent and every look and every hairstyle you can possibly imagine. It's been a wonderful 51 years. That's all I can say.
When we come back, final messages from Elizabeth Hubbard and Eileen Kearney.
No, he died. Goodbye. Hi, I'm not a doctor, but I've watched enough of The Doctors to know that you should watch The Doctors on WatchTheDoctors.com. With trauma, drama, and action. All in one place. Online or in your pocket. With exclusive content and live, prize-winning trivia. It's the cure you've been looking for. In fact, I'd recommend it. WatchTheDoctors.com. Watch 2 and call me in the morning.
Were you or a loved one diagnosed with lung cancer? If so, we urge you to call the number on your screen now for a free legal consultation. Lung cancer, along with other cancers listed on screen, and the disease asbestosis, may be linked to asbestos exposure. Exposure to asbestos in mills, factories, power plants, or while working as a plumber, electrician, plasterer, or maintenance worker may have put you at risk. In addition, because asbestos was widely used on ships, those working in shipyards, including Navy veterans, may have also been exposed. Asbestos has been used in many commercial applications, including insulation, fireproof fabrics, automotive parts, building materials, and turbines. If you or a loved one have been diagnosed with lung cancer or another asbestos-related cancer, call Sokolov Law for a free legal consultation. You may be entitled to compensation.
Call 1-800-978-2521. Again, that's 1-800-978-2521. I'm a non-attorney spokesperson.
Tyler, with Grammarly's help, is writing an email to his boss, Anita. Tyler sits just 15 feet away, though it can feel like the distance to Antarctica. Tyler is determined to find the right words so that when Tyler sends his email, he receives a response with phrases like, "I'm impressed," and "such initiative." And the distance between Tyler and Anita stops feeling so far. Grammarly, helping you connect. Go to Grammarly.com to download.
Things that used to be big and bulky now fit in your pocket. Even your hose. From the makers of the #1 expandable hose in the world comes another amazing pocket hose, the Silver Bullet. Just turn on the water and the Silver Bullet inflates from pocket size to super size. Then turn off the water and it shrinks back down to a super light pocket hose. It's putting itself away. No flipping and whipping to clear the kinks. The Silver Bullet will never kink. It easily maneuvers around the garden without crushing your plants. And the Silver Bullet has no lead. Get the super light 25-foot pocket hose Silver Bullet today for only $19.99. You'll also get the Turbo Shot jet nozzle free. Order now and you can double your order. Just pay a separate fee. Come on, dump the heavy old hose and get the Bullet.
Call 1-800-581-0966. Call or visit silverbullethose.com. So call 1-800-581-0966. Order now.
Were you a victim of a high-pressure or dishonest timeshare sales agent? Were you misled and confused with what you were buying? Did the timeshare fail to deliver what you were promised? Do you feel that you overpaid and just want out? If you answered yes to any of these questions, we can help. We're Timeshare Compliance. Our team can legally terminate your timeshare agreement, ending the payments forever. With one simple call, we can help end the financial suffering.
Call 800-928-5154. 800-928-5154.
Don't miss Watch the Doctors, Where Are They Now? A look back on the classic NBC soap opera as told by its stars. Today at noon and 7:30 p.m. Retro TV and WatchTheDoctors.com would like to thank you for watching. We hope you enjoyed it as much as we enjoyed making it. Don't forget to download the WatchTheDoctors.com app to watch your favorite episodes of The Doctors anytime. Plus, gain access to more exclusive behind-the-scenes content, including our unaired group interviews. Thanks again for watching, and before we go, here's some final messages from Dr. Althea Davis and Greta Powers.
I'm happy that anything that I did then can have resonate with you, and more than that, which is what I would like, is that my work would bring nourishment and hope and help, because God knows, as Noel Coward said to a friend of mine, we all need some jam.
I just want to say to all the fans out there that thank you so much for watching again, and just remember,
This is mine.
It's
They're
all
all mine.
Bye, guys.